Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is still doing well, and welcome to tonight's bonus upload. Before we jump into it, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership is in the description below. The merch is displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It does not cost you a cent. Click that like button, takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads I put out daily, click that bell icon, and folks, please leave a comment. Why? Well, because all these things, they really do help this channel to continue to grow and go. And yes, folks, they definitely do matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump in to tonight's bonus, shall we? All right, guys, so I have a fascination, just like all of you, with cryptids, the unexplained, reptilians, the secret government, dumbs, yada, yada, yada. But tonight's upload, we are going to stay down that same path that we've been on for the last couple of days, and I've got some very interesting video evidence that I want to share with you. Along with some very interesting and terrifying experiences. So let's jump into that right now. Underground alien and cattle mutilations, Dolce, New Mexico, has long been the site of strange activity and conspiracy theory. A government cover-up, an underground alien/human military base, or conspiracy theories run amok. Before the gory cattle mutilations, break-ins, and threatening phone calls, Dolce, New Mexico was a safe and peaceful place for R. Edmund Gomez and his family. It was not a place where you locked your doors or were wary of your neighbors, Edmund says. He and his family worked their ranch, then a ranch that had been in the family for over 100 years. Then in 1976, they began to find their cattle dead, having been horribly mutilated and left without ears or other anatomy across their ranch in Dolce. Financially, emotionally, and probably physically, we were probably the family that was the most affected by this whole situation, Edmund says. We lost 23 head of cattle that were mutilated, 2 bull and a yearling filly during that time period. It was cloak and dagger situation there. It was the beginning of what turned out to be a nightmare for the Gomez family, an ordeal that would cost them their peace of mind and their livelihood. Welcome to Dolce. For decades, Dolce, the tribal headquarters for the Jicarilla Apache Reservation, has served as a kind of beacon for the amalgam of strange activity stories and theories like UFO, Bigfoot, explanations run the gambit from the government cover-up and supernatural portals. One of the most well-known theories, though, is that an alien and human-operated military base is located underground in the Archuleta Mesa, just 7 miles outside of Dolce on the Colorado-New Mexico border. That theory is one of the first results that comes up when you Google Dolce, New Mexico. According to a story told in 1979 by an Albuquerque businessman, Paul Benowitz, Benowitz believed he was receiving electronic communications from UFOs outside of Albuquerque. In the 80s, he claimed he discovered the location of a joint-operated human alien base that was hidden underground near Dolce. Eventually, government explosive engineer Philip Schneider also claimed that in 1979 he helped to build an underground base in Dolce. According to Huffington Post, Schneider claimed to have witnessed a battle that occurred in an underground base and left 60 humans dead. Though the stories seemed a bit outlandish, they spread through the UFO community, leading to investigations into their claims. From there, the story was picked up by publications and TV shows like the History Channel's now defunct UFO Hunters, which concluded the conspiracy could be one of the darkest and most sinister secrets in the entire field of UFO investigation. Let alone, I'm going to add, let alone the history of the United States. Dolce is a small, boasting a population of about 2,700 residents, according to the 2010 U.S. Census Bureau. It's hard to imagine such an intense scenario playing out in secret there, but onlookers and investigators still travel to see the supposed base for themselves. There are figures in the world of UFO research who do not give credence to Benoit's or Schneider's claims, though. Horio Hayawaka, who runs a blog site called Civil Intelligence News Service, has been researching Dolce since '88. He's even been on top of the Archuleta Mesa and says, within confidence, there is no underground military base there. It's a beautiful place, but unfortunately there is no evidence of any physical base there, despite the fact that local people have been telling that they have seen strange activities, including sightings of military helicopters, and witnessed strange phenomenon. Norio says. But, really quick, Norio was the one who went and investigated and claims that the battle or a battle and there is a base under Groom Lake. So he's kind of on board of the underground bases and supposed battles that have occurred between human and alien. But he doesn't think it happened at Dolce. He thinks it happened at Groom Lake. The researcher who lives and works at Rio Rancho, New Mexico, and was one of the speakers at 2018 Dolce Base UFO conference, is scientific in his approach to investigations. I have to, because you have to put your 2 feet on the ground while doing all of this research into the weirdness of this entire thing. Norio says, still, even he concedes that there are some pretty strange occurrences in Dolce and doesn't feel that he can discount the experiences of others, as he was not there to witness them. I cannot debunk any of these claims because I wasn't there when these things were happening. I personally haven't seen anything unusual at all at Dolce, but that's because probably I'm there during the daytime, he states. Both Norio and Edmund said the community is split on their opinions as to the cause of the strange activities. We have the Native American community, and we have a very old traditional Hispanic community that believe in a lot of things, Edmund says. They are very religious in a certain way, but they also believe in witchcraft and the supernatural. People see things and they assume that they are something else. They see a craft flying and they see something in the air or wherever, and if they don't know, they assume things, in my opinion. The Gomez Ranch, the cattle mutilations at Gomez Family Ranch started in the mid-70s when Edmund was 21. The family began to find their cattle dead and, even more concerning, missing different body parts. According to copies of police reports found in declassified FBI files about the cattle mutilation, Manuel Gomez reported that April 24, 1978, the family found an 11-month-old bull that had been mutilated, the report states. Investigation showed that this 11-month-old bull was dropped by some type of aircraft north of Mr. Gomez's ranch. Rectum and sex organs had been removed with a sharp and precise instrument. The liver and heart of the bull were subsequently removed by the reporting officer. The heart was sent to Los Alamos Medical Laboratory, and the liver was taken to 3 different private labs for examinations. The liver was checked against healthy livers, and the comparison showed a difference in chemicals in the mutilated bull liver. According to the report, the mutilated bull's liver contained no copper and 4 times the amount of phosphorus, zinc, and potassium than a healthy liver. Just really quick, it's kind of strange that it was sent to Los Alamos Medical Laboratory, which, if you have been following along with this, Los Alamos has a DUM there as well, and works extensively with Los Alamos Medical Laboratory. Also, 3 different private labs. What's the point of that, and why would a private lab be involved in a legal investigation? Makes no sense. No explanation for this condition is available at present time, the report states. Blood which came off of the nose was examined by the lab, and it was found to be a light pink in color. A probable explanation for the pinkish blood is a control type of radiation used to kill an animal, according to radiation experts. It is believed that this type of radiation is not harmful to humans, although approximately 7 people who have visited the mutilation site complained of nausea and headaches. After the Gomez family began collecting evidence about these strange occurrences, Edmund said people had been breaking into their home to steal the evidence. Edmund's mother received menacing phone calls, he said, with a voice on the other end threatening to harm her children. The family began to fear for their safety, and Edmund started following his younger brother's school bus after picking him up, just in case anything were to happen to him along the way. We were not used to that. We grew up on the ranch. Nobody ever locked their doors. And there was very little crime in the area, Edmund said. And then, after a while, when we were getting the threatening phone calls and getting break-ins, you were looking over your shoulder. You are always uneasy. You never know what to expect when you go out to the ranch by yourself to fix a fence or check on the cattle or whatever. You don't know what you are going to find out there. It is a very scary situation, very uneasy. The Gomez family were not the only ranchers to experience bizarre mutilations at the time either. Reports from the declassified FBI files state that across the Midwest and western part of the country, including Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Oklahoma, Minnesota, the ranchers were finding their cattle horribly maimed. These reports can be found in the vault, the FBI's digital FOIA library containing 6,700 documents. One of the documents, memorandum, states that in 1975, Colorado Senator Floyd K. Haskell asked the FBI to investigate 130 grotesque mutilations that had been reported to Colorado officials. The 1975 memorandum states Senator Haskell indicated his concern for a situation occurring in the western states where cattle have been discovered mutilated. The bizarre mutilations involve loss of left ear, left eye, sex organ, blood drained from carcass with no trace of blood left on the ground or footprints. The director of the FBI at the time, Clarence M. Kelly, responded to Haskell stating that, "I regret to inform you that these actions do not constitute a violation of federal law coming within the FBI's investigation jurisdiction." In 1976 memorandum to the director of the FBI from Springfield, Illinois, Sheriff Russell Cruz of Marshall County, Illinois, reported widespread incidents of cattle mutilation. The memorandum concluded on this chilling note. This is furnished to the Bureau in view of numerous references in this article to federal investigative agencies and also theories that these mutilations of cattle are only a forerunner of later mutilations of human beings. Edmund said he and his family also worry that whatever was happening to their cattle would not stop with the animals. "I was wondering, are they going after humans next?" Edmund said. Edmund believes that the government is responsible for what is happening to his family's ranch. Cattle mutilations, he believes, are related to Project Gas Buggy. In 1976, an Atomic Energy Commission detonated a nuclear device near Dolce. The name of the project was Project Gas Buggy, which was meant to ease the flow of natural gas in the Dolce area and the northwest area of Dolce. But on the other hand, that government project may have created some kind of disaster in the sense that radiation leakage started happening in the late 70s. That is coincidentally when a lot of cows in the area were affected. Not only cows, but sheep and other animals. And coincidentally in the late 70s, there were many cattle mutilation cases in Dolce area and southern Colorado, and so on, Norio says. In 2013, author Greg Valdez published his father's investigations into the cattle mutilations in Dolce. He laid out a theory in his book. Dolce based the truth and evidence from the case files of Gabe Valdez that the government was monitoring the radiation effects on specific local cattle and was trying to do the research on the tissue of the cows in the area. The government, according to Valdez, was trying to avoid scaring people or reveal that they had made a mistake and leaked radiation. Gabe, who was a New Mexico state trooper stationed in Dolce, believed the government clandestinely chose cattle and took them by helicopter for testing. Edmund said several police officers even spotted strange aircraft hovering over his family's cattle ranch one night. If radiation leakage happened because of Project Gas Buggy, it's a big issue health-wise, Norio states. Eventually, the Gomez family couldn't keep up with the cattle loss, and in 1985 sold their ranch, which had been in their family for over 100 years. My dad and I were leasing the ranch from my grandfather, Edmund said. We would run the cows for him, but we were responsible for any death. So we have to replace them. If there was 100 head of cattle, we have to give him 100 head of cattle, and then whatever that percentage of calves to keep in going. Our intention at the time was to purchase the ranch for my grandfather. Well, because of the financial situation there, we took a beating, and eventually we couldn't come up with the cash to purchase the ranch when the family decided to sell. When asked whether he thought his family would ever receive compensation, answers, or closure for what happened to them, Edmund said he gave up on that idea long ago. I had hoped that at this time but we didn't see anything, Edmund said. We can't afford to sue the government. We don't have financial resources to do so. And the other part of this, the government has to give permission to be able to sue them anyway. So we were stuck with a bill. Though Edmund also saw strange aircraft hovering next to his school bus while he was in 6th grade, he does not believe that aliens are responsible for his family's hardships and believes that the only hardship is going to give people the answers they are looking for. Only hard evidence is going to. There's things that I've seen that I cannot explain, but I'm sure there's got to be an explanation for them. But the only thing that I know is the evidence that has been left behind all points toward the government, toward humans. I'm not saying there are not extraterrestrial aliens that have been visiting, or that we haven't interdimensional worlds that come and go. I haven't seen that, Edmund said. We don't have the evidence to support that. I think people are thinking, well, since I can't explain it, let's make up a hypothesis and try to figure it out. So I can only go with what is concrete data, and we have to support what we've seen. Everything points to humans and points to the government. So right there you have a man who is beaten, just beaten down mentally and emotionally. And he kind of did. He really did say, hey, the government is responsible. But I believe that he is silenced because I think it was in the 80s. He did a ride along with, I want to say Phil Schneider. And there's some transcribed manuscripts that I've read on here between the two talking about the underground Dolce. I think he was silenced. I think he was told to shut up, and he probably was compensated. Not a lot, not what that ranch was worth to him and his family, but enough to not live in absolute poverty. And it's sad. It is sad. I don't not believe that there was government radiation leaks in the area. You've got numerous reputable people that have claimed that these bases exist, and you cannot tell me that there is not radiation leakage coming out of these things. Alien life form with their crafts have to produce some sort of radiation that is negative towards humans, you've got too many people who have died mysteriously from spilling the beans on these cases. I think Norio himself is actually given some money to quiet down too, and probably said, "Here, talk about Groom Lake. Don't talk about Dolce anymore. Just talk about Groom Lake, and we'll pay you. You shut up, make your money off of it this way, write your books, do whatever." And the government's shady. They're very corrupt. Not all, but the ones who are involved in this alien agenda are. And it is very sad situation. Humans and animals alike, physical, mental, all of it, emotional. It's sad. So the next little part of this upload is going to be some footage found, which is United States Marines, I believe, in a kind of a training session talking about reptilians and UAPs or UFOs and how deadly these things can be. And it's pretty interesting. So let's check this out.
The angry ones look like the reptile ones that you were talking about.
Yeah, the fucking bad ones. The ones that we're going to be fighting.
These and these had a large war.
Okay, who won?
These guys, these guys won. They almost wiped these out, but
so we should be more worried about
their planet was destroyed, so they had to go to the circle.
They took us back to their fucking planet.
They took 12 of us.
But this asteroid or whatever the fuck's going to go on here pretty soon. Are these motherfuckers going to come help us out, or what are they going to do?
Maybe Jesus was an alien. You know what? They said that's a very strong possibility. That he wasn't an alien, but our DNA has been altered 68 times since the caveman days. The thing that they're calling an asteroid that's supposed to hit us, destroy us, was actually not an asteroid. It's a spaceship. It was actually a spaceship of the reptilian. We're forming an alliance with them. We've actually sent 12 of our own to their planet, and they stayed there for 13 years.
Those are the reptilians.
Those are the big motherfuckers. Those are the bad ones.
Those guys are running in beta.
What's the angry ones look like? The reptile ones that you were talking about.
All right, guys. So I really do feel like that was a kind of sneak in camera phone, and we are not supposed to even see that. I have reverse searched it video wise, and it is not part of a TV show. It is not part of a movie. So to me, if it's not any of those, that means it's quite possibly real. So this next video clip, I want to believe that this is proof of these very strange and demonic experiments that are going on in these deep underground military bases, or as we know them, DUMBs. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this Super Bowl Sunday kind of bonus upload. I don't watch football, so this is what I did during football time, I guess. I put this video together and I read a little bit of Behold the Pale Horse by William Cooper. If you guys are not familiar with that book, and I know many of you are, but if a few of you are not and you've never heard of William Milton Cooper, I I honestly suggest going to buy that book. It's called Behold the Pale Horse. I bought it when it first came out in the early 2000s, 99, 2000 era. And there is, I have 3 copies. I have the original copy that I bought when it first was released. And then I have 2 other copies. Because I thought I lost my original, and I didn't realize that they had actually taken a lot of the information out of that first release to keep from the public. But I really think the book may be banned again someday. They may take it down and just, completely take it off of bookshelves and everything else. So I suggest, if you've never heard of him and that book, to get the book. If you have heard of him and you don't have the book, get the book. It is really a work of art and truth and whistleblowing. Guys, thanks for supporting this channel. Your support is what makes this channel special. It's also what continues for it to grow and go. Please, everyone, stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, our pets, our family, and friends. These creatures are real. They're out there. They're dangerous. Share this info with the people you love and care about, and it may just help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop asking questions, never stop looking for answers, and God bless you all.